Casey, I understand you're retiring after a long and illustrious career in the justice system. I wish I could be there more than anything, but fate has me on the East Coast, and I can't get back. So I thought I'd put together this small tribute to you. Now, there are many things and many remember whens I could go to, like the Rock Island legal office parties, going door-to-door campaigning and putting in yard signs, our day at the road to Hana. But Bridget asked that I regale the day that you and I walked the lovely trail at Hanauma Bay and tell the story of the great rescue that infamous day. So here, as best I can remember, is the story of the rescue at Hanauma Bay. It was during our trip to Hawaii, visiting Mike and Barb Mahoney. We had many adventures, and Casey, being Casey, enjoyed his time surfing, building sand castles, hula dancing, diving into the ocean, riding whales, and battling sea monsters. But it wasn't until we went to Hanauma Bay that his true mettle was tested. Yes, Hanauma Bay. That snorkeling paradise for Joe Average tourist, a mecca of sun and fun with the fishes. But you, sir, are no average tourist. Your adventure streak led you to be where you needed to be to participate in one of the greatest rescues of our time. The great Casey Stengel Hanauma Bay Rescue. It started as an ordinary day with snorkeling and laying at the beach. But Casey saw past the calm, peaceful bay where the mighty Pacific tested its strength against the volcanic cliffs. "Let's go out there," says Casey. "That's where adventure lies." And he was right. So Casey and I head out along a small and rugged path along the base of the cliffs on the right side of the bay. A rugged hike of 40 minutes or so over rocks and through the brush. Ignoring the warning signs, in fact actually stepping on one as we walked, we made our way to the outer edge to watch huge waves break against the rocks, blasting 40 feet into the air. Along the path we passed a young couple returning to the beach, apparently afraid to go all the way out to the edge where the waves were crashing. However, they saw us pass them, and that must have given them the assurance that it was safe to continue. Enter destiny. Once there, I went out to the edge to sit among the breakers, lodging myself into a crevice to hold me as the waves broke and passed by. I didn't even know the young couple had joined us out on the rocks. Casey stayed back and took pictures and videos, and we were actually able to recover the film from his camera that day, such as these dramatic pictures. Oops, need to get past these. Here we go. Here's some great video he shot on the rocks there. Now, I left my spot to view some other waves crashing to my right. Unbeknownst to me, apparently the young couple had gone out to where I had been sitting when an extra large wave came in. I came back to where the couple was sitting and Casey was working with his camera. I see the girl with a compound fracture in her leg, bones sticking out and everything, and her leg flopping in the waves as they washed in and out. The young man sat still, simply staring into the distance. Casey immediately went into action, putting away his camera. There we were with a girl screaming over and over that she's gonna die, a young man in shock, and us with nothing to make a splint but lava rock and swimming suits. Nonetheless, Casey carried her out of the waves to safety and calmed her down by telling her stories of his days as a public defender. Eventually, a lifeguard was dispatched. The lifeguard arrived and consulted with Casey and realized if Casey couldn't handle it, neither could he. So they called an ambulance who had to haul a gurney down the long, treacherous path. About an hour later, they arrived and assisted Casey with getting the girl tied to the stretcher and carried her back along the path to the ambulance. Arriving back at the beach, everyone was shocked to hear of Casey's adventure. The girls gathered round to hear his story. The media interviewed everyone involved. Luckily, I was able to find the young man and woman involved and ask them if I could interview them. Tracy, do you remember the day at Hanauma Bay?
I remember it like it was just yesterday. There I was, smashed against the rocks with a terrible broken leg, and the waves were crashing, and I was so afraid I was gonna die.
There, Tracy, it's all right. Tell me, if you can, how did you get out of that terrible situation?
Well, out of nowhere came Casey. With a camera. He saved me.
Bertram, you were there too, that infamous day. Do you remember Casey?
Of course I remember. He was like a god,
standing there so handsome, and then he
saved us, and well, he's just a hero in our little town.
Of course. He's a hero to all of us. But tell me, do you think you'll remember Casey Stengel?
We will. Because I think I love him.
Oh, I wish you were Casey. Sure, others helped, but I owe my life to Casey Stengel. I didn't think I'd make it, but now I'm doing just fine.
That's a beautiful story. I can see why Bridget wanted me to share it with you and your friends at your retirement party. Well, I could go on and on, but hey, is that Dave Salins? Hey, Dave, got all your albums? Well, have the best of times, Casey. And don't forget about me, because I know that I, like Tracy and Bertram, won't forget about you. Aloha!